Welcome to the DIY Tax Knowledge Center. In this video we will explore how to set up and use the invoicing feature. To access the invoicing feature, we must go to the My Business screen. Then we need to select this method of record keeping. To do this, we should click on the settings icon for the business that we wish to raise invoices for. Customers should use this feature to update the name and address of each business. Click on the Next button. To use the invoicing feature, customers should select the second option, to create invoices and track expenses. Once configured, the user interface will change slightly. A new invoice setting button will appear. Customers should use this to configure the invoice settings. You should ensure that you have entered the correct name and address for the business because this will appear on your invoice. You can also scroll down to the bottom of this screen and upload your company logo. On the next tab, customers can configure the invoice number format. Like a document, when you are creating an invoice, it is in draft format until it has been finalized. Customers can elect to have an invoice prefix and can also elect to start the invoice numbering at any given number. You should also update your terms and conditions. There is also a notes field. Both of these will appear as the default values when you create an invoice, but customers can change this text on each individual invoice. Finally, you can set up the default subject text and the default email text that will be used when you use the app to email an invoice to their customers. You will have the opportunity to change or personalize the text when they send each individual invoice. Once you have configured the invoice settings, you will return to the My Business screen. Just a quick note, the Submit button used to submit your quarterly updates to HMRC only appears after you have connected the app to your HMRC account. You will need to link this business to one of the businesses that you have registered with HMRC. Registering a business with HMRC must be completed via the HMRC website. To create an invoice, click on the icon just under the income total. This will take you to the invoice screen where you can filter, view, edit and add invoices. To add a new invoice, please click on the Add button at the top of the screen. This will open up the Add Invoice screen. You can create two types of invoices in this app. A very simple invoice where you just enter a description and an amount. Or you can create a multi-line invoice used to provide a greater level of detail. A few things to note. The app inserts today's date and you must select the customer. If the customer does not exist, you can add a new customer from the search screen. You can also see the terms and notes that you updated in the invoice settings automatically appear. You can now edit these and make them specific to this invoice. Click Save to save a draft copy of the invoice. Once saved, you can preview the invoice. This will display a PDF copy or printout of the invoice. Note that it displays your company name and address and the logo that you upload when you configured the invoice settings. Click Cancel to return to the invoice screen. The next important step is to finalize the invoice. Click on the Finalize button to change the status of the invoice from a draft copy to a formal invoice. The finalize process assigns an invoice number to the invoice. Now that it is a formal invoice, you can use the buttons at the bottom of the screen to record notes against this invoice. You can also add follow-up actions, which is very useful for chasing late payment. You will also see the facility to email an invoice to your client, and you can always view a PDF copy of the invoice at any time. It is important to note that you can edit an invoice provided it has not been locked. If you change an invoice, use the buttons at the bottom of the screen to create a new copy of the invoice. Click on the Documents button at the bottom of the screen to view each copy of the invoice. If you need to provide more detail on the invoice, click on the Detailed Line Items button. Click on the Add button at the top of the screen to enter a line item. Enter the details for each line item on this screen. Once you have completed this task, click on the Back button to return to the main invoice screen. The app detects that you have entered line items and displays a small counter on the Detailed Line Items button to indicate this. It is also worth noting that you cannot edit the invoice totals on this screen because they are derived from the line items you entered. I hope that this video tutorial has helped to explain everything you need to know about using the invoicing feature. Thank you for your patience and thank you for watching.